What's up? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Cara Lee, and here I help to bring you clarity through life's toughest challenges. Today, I haven't even picked the piles yet, the pile selection cards. I just thought we would do it together and have a little bit of fun with this today. The last couple days I've been doing some readings that have been really heavy, and I just want to lighten it up a little bit, and we'll see what Spirit has to say. But once a week I'm going to do this, the next 7 days, the next few days, what you need to know about your healing journey or whatever, is coming in, or whatever you need to know for the next week ahead. So we're going to pick the 3 piles together. Pile number 1, please, Spirit. Whoa. Pile number 1, Earth pulsing. Pulse of the mother, slow down time in nature. Ooh, beautiful. Ooh. This is not supposed to be an 18+ reading. I don't typically do them, although I might in the future. But there's definitely like, I'm not going to say it yet. I'm going to wait until we get into it. Okay, pile number 2 is loosen your grip. Wow, 133 on the timer. Loosen your grip, coping mechanisms, density, addiction, let God in. Wow. Whew. You guys, I'm feeling like super feisty right now. I just had this like huge release kind of session for myself, and I feel kind of fiery. So forgive like the messages that might come through this channel right now, okay? All right, pile number 3 then. Pile number 3. Pile number 3. Okay. 2 cards for pile number 3. Then I'll put this down. Forge, don't follow. Pave a new path, be the leader you wish you had. Ooh, I like that. Breath of the cosmos, my will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. Yeah, okay. That's a confusing message. Oh, they want me to do 4 piles today. They were saying it before, and I was like, no, I'll do 3. And now they're like, no, you're going to do 4. So these are 2 separate ones. They're not ones. This is going to be pile number 3 is forge, don't follow, pave a new path, be the leader you wish you had. Whoa. Reminds me of like, there's like the greenery there, but it's like the Emerald City for some reason. I'm getting that just off the top of my head. And then, pile number 4, breath of the cosmos, my will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. Interesting. So we're going to have 4 piles today. In a second, I will do the overhead shot of all of the cards and with the singing bowls and give you a chance to choose the pile that resonates with you the most. I'm so excited to be here with you today. So yeah, while the photo's up, take a second, take some deep breaths, and choose the pile that resonates with you the most. And when you're ready, the timestamp to your pile is in the description box below. Okay, see you in your reading. Okay, pile number 1. Whew, coming in hot. I swear, I entered this pile and I was like, there is some like hot and steamy stuff going on here, and I can't do an 18 plus reading because that's not really what I want to be doing. But if I did, then this would be it. I can't even, like, they're showing me so much that it's almost embarrassing to think about. Okay, so maybe this will help to soften the energy, but like, dude, like, they're just, they're, they're showing me this like throbbing member, and it's very uncomfortable. Well, not uncomfortable, but it's very like disconcerting right now. I'm like, I feel a little weird about it. So there's one thing about being a psychic and like doing tarot card readings that you just really tap into people's energies. You can see so much about them and like what's going on. Like sometimes people pass me on the street and I can see so much if they're open with what they've gone through, what they're feeling, what they're going through. And it doesn't happen all the time, but it's like, it's so powerful, right? People's energies are so powerful once you're able to tap into other people. So I'm just like look at this picture, you guys. And I mean, take it as it resonates, but you have this like stream, right? This waterfall, this like water flowing, this energy flowing. This pink energy is very love, healing, sultry energy down here. And then look at the two mountains. Okay, you have to look at this like this. I don't know if you are seeing what I'm seeing or it's just my mind right now, but like, look at what I'm seeing. Can you see that? Can you see what I'm seeing? I can't say it, but if you can see it, then you know what I'm talking about. I think that if this reading is really for you, you're gonna see what I'm seeing. I didn't even see this girl here until right now, like laying on this bed of flowers on the river, just like lounging and like relaxing and enjoying and receiving, just being so receptive to this beautiful flowing energy of love, or this like even melting, right? There's like the mountains in the top, the mountains in the top here kind of melting into this river, right? Into her. And then this like beautiful love bed of roses. What's that? Is it like a Meatloaf song that it says something about bed of roses? No. Like, I don't want to sing it because I don't really know the tune, but it's like, I want to lay you down on a bed of roses. That's the message. Oh my God. That makes me so happy and sad all at the same time. But it's a beautiful message. Like, there's so much love in this message here. I don't want to go on forever because I really could. I could just get lost in the emotions of this card and this pile. You guys have so much going on. Like, I feel like there's this hardness, and not in like the pulsing sense, but like this hardness melting away from your heart or from some sort of situation in the next 7 days. So this reading is supposed to be about the next 7 days and what do you need to know. And it's just like this melting, this softening, this like opening up, this like, they're saying like freedom, but I don't know, freedom or being free. They're just showing me freedom and like a stallion or like horses running. Oh, and like wild horses couldn't keep me from you. That's like a message for some. Either that's what you're thinking or that's what somebody else is thinking. But there's definitely this union between two people. And look, even this the waterfall there, the stream, the waterfall is like there's a divide. It's dividing these two people, but then at the end of it, it stops. That there's no longer a divide anymore. That's neat. And then I just saw 444 just now on the timer. So it's like the divide, there's no longer this divide, and that there's just coming together. And possibly, if you have been separate from somebody, there could be some moments of intimacy, whether that's intimate conversation or physical intimacy. That could be something that resonates for you. That's really sweet. Aww. I love you guys. I really do. I grew up with like Disney princesses. I believe in it. I believe in love. I believe in true love. I believe in soulmates and twin flames and all of that. And unconditional love. You know, when you meet somebody like your soulmate, your twin flame, somebody who you really resonate with, there's things about it that are unconditional. And I mean, there's conditions and limits and boundaries in the human 3D world, but in the 5D, you're always together, you know? And it's a beautiful feeling, even though the human experience of the separation can be really sad. But the feeling itself, the love that you share with somebody else in that way, that depth of love and feeling and intimacy and understanding, like it's there's no words for it. Like there's not even a word I can use to describe it. I asked somebody once, you know, and I won't get into their story, but it was so sad. They were an older person and struggling with some things, right, in life and marriage and connections, and older than me, and they were like, they had never had that feeling of like really wanting somebody, really like just having this like passionate urge to be with somebody and in somebody and around somebody, and you know, they had never had that. And I just kind of looked at them and I was like, oh God, that was so sad. I felt so sad for them to never have felt that. Even if it doesn't last, it's nice knowing that that kind of a depth of the human experience really exists, you know. It can be very healing if you allow it as well. Okay, so earth pulsing, I can't say it without like just chills. Pulse of the mother, slow down, time in nature. So I won't make this an 18 plus all the way, but I'm gonna say like there's this like taking your time with this situation, with this person. I'm really strongly feeling that it is a connection here. And the pulse of the mother. So if you are a divine masculine, or if you're the masculine watching this, and this is about your empress or your divine feminine or the feminine in this situation, this is like really giving in, you know, like giving in and giving to her, giving into the pulse of her. And that can go hand in hand with nature as well. If this is not about an intimate 108 on the clock, and I always look at that as like in yoga is the auspicious number. It's one of the most spiritual numbers, is 108. 9, which is divisible by 3, which I don't remember what that's called, but like, okay, so just now there's the 5 of Wands, so it can be about conflict. There might be a conflict that's been going on in this connection. Yeah, they're like, okay, maybe we won't get into like all that stuff, but there's definitely this need to slow down and take your time and give into the pulse of the situation, or her pulse or their pulse, or if any of you practice Tantra or have thought about practicing Tantra with your partner, this could also be a sign for you, I think. And really using intimacy, physical intimacy, as a way to connect with your higher self, as a way to connect with God, as a way to heal as well, even healing these other pains, right? I think people forget how much intimacy and connection is actually, oh, I wish I had I have a lock here. Maybe I should put the video on pause and get okay, I'm back. And I just realized that maybe I can't actually show you this look. But when I was traveling in India, I went, and I can't pronounce the name of this town, Khajuraho, something like that. That's not how you pronounce it, and I could never do it. But it's where the original Tantra inscriptions were inscripted into the temples. And the scenes were quite graphic. It's strange that YouTube won't let you show these things, because it is a part of our divinity. It's a part of our culture and our history and as human beings. So it's weird that you can't like show these things, because it's art and it's like, anyway. So there's this, I have this brass lock, and it's like I'm just getting this like unlocking the chemistry, or unlocking, and it's so the key at the bottom of the lock here, it goes into this intimate scene here, right? And it's like the key, the intimacy, or these like the sex organs being the key towards unlocking your connection with the divine. And that's what Tantra is actually used for. It's not necessarily just about feeling good, right? It's about connecting on a deeper level with other people, with source, with yourself. And like these two figures are just completely engulfed in one another, you know, and it's about soulful expression, and healing and stuff. So yeah, I don't want to go off on this card too much, because I think there's other things going on here, but I think that there's this slowing down that's happening this week, this slowing down, but at the same time a re-emergence, maybe into union in the physical world. If you've been separate for a long time, maybe it could be happening on the 5D, right now. You might be feeling this like powerful pull to come together this week. Because right after that, the Five of Wands and the Eight of Swords came out. Okay. Whew, Spirit, just relax. Spirit needs to relax a little bit. Five of Wands can talk about conflict. It can also talk about working together for for the common good, or a cause or something. But with the Eight of Swords, which is the card of inner anxiety, inner fears, kind of holding you back, holding you hostage, that the outside world, we might look at the outside world and say that this is all getting in the way, but it's actually your inner fears that are holding you back. And you see the emotions, like the water in the card at the bottom over here, which is the emotions that are actually keeping you hostage. There's nobody around except for these swords that are tying this figure to anything. It's just she's bound to herself and her own emotional turmoil. I'm saying her because in the card the figure looks like a feminine energy type. So, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, like keeping her. So you know, oh my God, I've never really. So it's funny how when you're reading cards, things come out that you don't really look at all the time. So behind all these swords, there's the house on a top of a mountain or a hill or something, and there's like this little castle there, and it's only this figure's emotions. She's actually not even tied to one of the swords. See, I don't know if you can see, she's not tied to one of the swords. She's just tied to herself. She could turn around and walk home, right? Because she's not tied to anything except for her own emotions here that are keeping her hostage. Her, he, them, they, doesn't matter. The situation. Oh my gosh, you guys are so conflicted. Like there's so much pent up, repressed, stressful energy here. Okay, so the Seven of Wands can talk about defending something, defending your home, defending yourself, keeping other people at bay, defending your right to something, right? It can talk about, you know, trying to stand your truth, trying to stand your ground in the face of adversity, or in the face of maybe other people's influence. With the Five of Wands there, that could mean something. You're like defending something, maybe defending this connection to other people. With the Five of Wands and the Seven of Wands, you could be, you know, it's causing you a lot of turmoil and anxiety, or having to defend your own actions yourself. I'm going to clarify the cards. In the middle of the deck, and I think it's maybe actions or something. So we have the Knight of Wands, but it came up in reverse. And the Knight of Wands in reverse, like the Knight of Wands is a very passionate card, very creative, spontaneous, fun, charismatic. But in reverse, he's like the ultimate player. Like he's like, I say he because it's the Knight and he's a masculine energy in this picture, but it doesn't matter. And then we have, and this is also, there's a lot of Aries energy here with the Emperor on the bottom of the deck, fire energy. So Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo energy could resonate. Father, the divine masculine, or the Emperor is the divine masculine. He can also be very, you know, kind of controlling, but also very protective. The divine masculine energy is a very protective energy. So that in conjunction with the Seven of Wands, it could be like you're very protective over maybe this person and you're defending them to a certain degree. But in this picture, this woman, this, I'm gonna call her the mother, but like she's kind of laying and resting and unaware that all this other stuff is going on. It's as if she's unaware that you're fighting this battle on her behalf almost, to a certain extent. But then we have the Knight of Wands here in reverse, which is like very impulsive behavior as well. This is like player energy. This is non-committal energy. This is somebody who is very impulsive and makes really brash or irrational decisions and then really regrets it later with the, and that's kind of coming under the Eight of Swords. So it's like maybe you made a decision, you did something out of conflict, right? So we have the Five of Wands, Eight of Swords, and then the Knight of Wands underneath that, which is like you did something out of conflict. Maybe you reacted to something out of conflict, and then and you impulsively reacted and behaved badly, and it's caused you the need to defend or like get really defensive, or the people involved are very defensive, I'm feeling mostly. Or even protective. Like we're talking about the Emperor, it could be very protective as well. Like you're feeling very protective over this person, over this situation. And then here we have the Six of Pentacles, which is about balance. It's about giving and receiving, offering support even, or receiving support from others. It can also talk about charity, or it came up upright, so it could be about giving, maybe offering something, offering to create balance in this situation. Maybe if you did do something in this relationship. What is this? Like, is this, I just feel this, like in the beginning there was so much intensity and love and passion and just like that like yearning for somebody, and then it kind of goes away and shifts with the tide, you know, when you start to think about like all this stuff that happened, whatever it was, this conflict, this bad behavior, quote bad, right, impulsive behavior, you know, that might have affected this situation or this relationship. And then maybe for the last little while you've also been going within and really, with the Hermit card, working on yourself, looking at the situation more objectively, really feeling the situation through, observing yourself, meditating, healing, focusing inward, looking at your behaviors. Maybe this is with the Six of Pentacles and the Hermit card, this is like an apology or some sort of offer, or coming into balance, trying to find a way to come into balance in this situation after conflict and after a lot of self-reflection. That's what I'm sort of getting with that. But hold on, overall, Spirit, what's the overall, like the next 7 days, what's happening in the next 7 days? Is this like the past? I'm getting like this is sort of past energy, but what is happening in the next 7 days for pile number 1? We have the Hierophant. This could be about learning spiritual lessons. It could be about a higher level commitment as well. Maybe you're going to offer, with the Six of Pentacles, some sort of higher level commitment, or someone's going to offer you a higher level of commitment. It didn't really come out in the reverse or upright. It's sort of like making that decision. Oh no, okay. So, and then at the bottom of the deck, we have the Three of Pentacles. So I think this could be about working together to come into some sort of higher level of commitment, or the Hierophant is a very traditional card, right? It's actually the Pope card, so religious factors can be an issue here. But if this is about a relationship, then there's this next level of like reciprocity, coming into balance, learning spiritual lessons through the conflict, the challenges that you've been facing with this person or in this situation, and then working together to create harmony, right? All the love energy that I was feeling, kind of like, not, oh, 1:22 on the clock right now. Not vanished, just changed. It shifted. Oh, but then we have the Ace of Cups, as I was saying that, which is the love card. For like, it's the like new love or new opportunities, heart-centered conversations, perhaps. Eight of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So like leaving behind the situation that you've been in that wasn't really fulfilling, and walking towards the Ace of Cups, walking towards love, walking towards hope, even passion. It's not so much passion, it's more like love passion, you know, love-fueled passion. With the 1:22 on the clock, 2-2, the number 2 is about union, it's about connection, it's about balance. So coming into balance with this situation or this person over the next week, the next 7 days. No, they want me to switch decks. Okay, I'm gonna go to the Sacred Traveler deck just to get one oracle message from here for you. Water is so cleansing, you guys. Taking a bath, taking a shower, something around like cleansing the energy of this situation, cleansing your own energy will clear some of that negative stuff. Like I'm just feeling the need to just like, you know, fan away something, some sort of density, some sort of energy that's clouding this connection, this situation. Clear the past, heal the present. So rejuvenating rain. Look how beautiful it is. It's actually very similar to this card here. Right? She's still in the water. There's still this waterfall. There's still this flow. Oh, and look. If you look at this card, 333 on the clock, which is like expansion, ascending to another spiritual level, goes along with learning spiritual lessons. But see this waterfall here, and then you have the rocks, right? It's kind of like, but it's still coming through, like the love, like the Ace of Cups. It's exactly that. The love still coming through even after this blockade. It's like there was a block to this connection, but it's still emerging, like still able to come through, even through the hardships, even through the challenges. And it's such a beautiful, there's so much love here. Like there's so much depth. Even in this, the colors are similar. The blues, right? The blue of communication, the purples with a 5D connection, being really intuitively connected. You might have like you and this person might have a telepathic connection where you can sort of read and hear each other's thoughts. But then there's this like beautiful pink color, which is the color of healing and love and unconditional love from the divine, which is such a beautiful energy. So healing the past, clearing the past toxic or negative energy, and healing the present and coming together in a different, they're saying a different level of understanding is what Spirit's saying. And vast vistas. With that makes me think of the Hierophant card here a little bit. I feel like they go hand in hand, where it's talking about tradition, and maybe even creating your own traditions, expand your horizons, the vast vista. So looking at the situation differently, looking into the future a little bit. So that's also goes along with the higher level of commitment. So maybe planning a trip, maybe planning a different kind of a life. Maybe you might even be planning to go somewhere with this person or something, or you're traveling to see this person with the road here going to the sailboat, right? Can you see that in the distance? And it's like this Jack-in-the-Box. Oh my God, you guys, look. It's kind of like a Jack-in-the-Box, right? This dude here. Kind of like the page. Where is he? The Knight. He looks just like the Knight of Wands, doesn't he? Like popping up. If you're the feminine in this situation or the other person, right? Like, I don't think it's anyone's fault here. I think there's a lot of missteps that maybe have happened in this situation. And a lot of anxiety and fears, right? It's not really showing me it's any one person's fault. It's just like things got in the way, things happened. And you've been really trying to almost defend this connection. Maybe both of you have been doing that in your own ways. And maybe you're not necessarily seeing what the other person is going through with the 8 of Swords and she's blindfolded. Like maybe both of you aren't seeing the situation for what it is. You're not seeing the other person's side or how they're actually feeling on the inside. And so you're just projecting your own stuff onto them or onto the situation. So this dude here looks very much like the Knight of Wands, sort of popping up. And like, hey, let's go on a trip somewhere. Let's sail away into the vista. Let's like just pick up and leave. Let's just go. Let's just create our own life together. Let's just move on from this. And it's almost like this with the Jack-in-the-Box energy. It's like a surprise. So either they might contact you kind of as a surprise if there has been distance, or if you're still in contact, they might surprise you with just a total shift in energy. Just like, you know what? I'm done with this. Let's just change it up. Let's just choose something different right now and follow our hearts. Right? There's something else out there. Let's sail off. Oh my God, you guys, look. The sunset or sunrise, but I think it's a sunset. It's like pops up. Let's sail away with me into the vista. Let's go. That's beautiful. And the road to get to the sailboat is you can see it. It's a little bit long, not long, but it's, there's a bit of a trip ahead to get there, I think, to where you can just sort of take off and go. But I think there's this vision, a shared vision of like the future together that's going to be happening. Okay, what else, you guys? Pile number 1. Like there's now an excitement. God, you guys have this energy of like woo, like the love and the depth and the intimacy and the passion and the like this pulsing energy, this heart pulsing, throbbing energy. And then it like shifts into this like sadness and longing and like resistance, and then it shifts into excitement and like let's do something, like let's like very playful energy. It's very like there's a lot of fire energy here, so I already said that, but there's also a lot of water as well. So you could resonate as or this person could be a water sign as well. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. So there might be, that kind of wishy-washy energy, but also this excitement and passion and love and just like I love love kind of feeling, which is me. I was saying that to a friend who, the other day, and I was like, oh, I just love love. Even if things aren't always working out, it's like, I just love it. Okay, so sorry, I'm getting distracted. Strength. Leo energy. Very powerful. Palpable is the word. There's this strong connection, this strong intuitive connection between you and this other person. The High Priestess, with the High Priestess there. You have a very strong psychic connection. You feel very powerfully, very strong for each other. And it might not be very out in the open though with the High Priestess, because she can talk about secrets or something's being hidden or cloaked in mystery. And then we have the Nine of Cups, which is just like love, feeling good, feeling confident, focusing on joy. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the Ten of Wands. So choosing to focus on joy instead of the negative, instead of all the challenges, like focusing on what you can do in the situation instead of what's blocking you in the situation. So that's a big shift, I think, that's happening in the next week for you in this, either this situation or this, I think it's a person, but like for those of you where it's not, it's the situation, focusing on the good and what you can do rather than the challenges and what is blocking you. I had to just say that again. Yeah, and really working towards something in a really with a positive mindset, with the Eight of Pentacles there. Determined and like really having mastered, I think, some lessons, some spiritual lessons, because the Eight of Pentacles can talk about mastering certain studies or finishing studies or finally getting paid really well for the work that you've been, the things that you've been studying to do or things you've been mastering. So if you are, you know, learning these spiritual lessons about connection and connections and coming into union with a partner, or what love is and healing and all that, you've sort of mastered a lot of that, or you're working on mastering it. And the next level to that self-mastery is union, is having faith and hope that things are gonna work out with the Star card, really wishing on a star and hoping that things are gonna come into fruition, and then but making them, instead of just focusing on wishing on it, but actually making them work. As well. One more card. I'm going to leave it there, I think. One more card. Oh, the moon. Okay. Oh, and 22:22 on the clock. On the timer. Wow. Yeah, this is definitely big spiritual lessons about unions, connections, opening your heart space, balance. The moon and the Fool. There's like and the Fool at the bottom of the deck. So the moon can talk about something is hidden from you, right? Like maybe you don't even know, like they don't want you to know all the details of how this is going to come together in the next week. Or it could be about working on your shadows, or like coming forward with your shadows, coming forward with the shadowy thoughts that you've been having. I got so off track from where I had originally started with this message, and maybe that's a message for you guys. Like maybe you guys got off track and it's like, how did we get here? It doesn't even make any sense. Looking back at the road, like, where are we? This doesn't make any sense. We shouldn't be here. I'm hearing we shouldn't be here. Like, how do we get back on the path? And then the Fool, did I show you the Fool? So the Fool is new beginnings. It's like, not necessarily, I mean, could be in reverse as being naive and immature, but I think it's just like having faith and throwing caution to the wind and letting go and letting God sort of do their magic to make this situation right, whatever that means for this situation. Oh. What's maybe a piece of advice for this week? Like, there's some sort of conversation, I think, that needs to happen, right? When I pulled the Page of Swords, which is about conversation, it could be about watching somebody, watching their social media or something, but this is for advice. So this is about a conversation, being humble, taking the first step, maybe if there needs to be an apology, or even just a reaching out of like, hey, let's talk about this, because it's not right. How do we get here? And then sort of figure out how to get back on track. With the Sun card at the bottom of the deck, it's like reaching out and just with positive expectations, having this conversation with a positive expectation that everything's actually going to be okay. And that's for everybody with this, the World's card. Okay, so I was going to ask who is this person, right? Because I'm talking to you guys, but who is this person that you're thinking of? And they just gave me the world. So the world can be somebody who's at a distance from you. So I do think that there is a divide here in some way. It could be emotionally, it could be physically. Maybe you live at a distance. So that will give you a clue as to who that person is and who you need to work through this kind of stuff with. Or I think you already know. I don't think I need to. I think it's just me being curious. Okay, so just cut the deck, and it's like the Queen of Swords. So this person could have really set firm boundaries with you. They might have said some things that you did not want to hear. The Queen of Swords is very direct, you know, she's very powerful. She sees things very clearly. She could be clairvoyant, right? Or she sees you very clearly. She doesn't really wear a mask. Like who she is what, you know, what you see is what you get with this person. And she's just like, you know, what the hell? I see her just taking this, you know, at maybe a party or whatever, just taking this mask off. And she's like, dude, what the hell? Like, no, I'm not going to take that. I'm not going to do that. I'm just not going to take that. I respect myself. Like, she has a lot of self-respect. She's a great leader. She's a great communicator. And she's asking you, maybe she's been asking you to kind of level up. Like, come on, let's go. Right? And then you were in this Knight of Wands energy, like la 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 la, dee 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 dee. I'm gonna do what I want, and nothing. You know, I don't need to be accountable for anything, and she's like, no, I'm not taking that. I'm not gonna do it. So either come correct is what I'm hearing. Either come correct or don't come at all. Right? And I'm not gonna, this could be a really long thing. I don't want to go into too much of that, but I think that there's just what Spirit wants, and what I'm thinking here is just hold on to that initial energy that I was tapping into, like laying her down on this bed of roses, like just surrendering to her, to this connection, to this love, to this depth, to the emotions, like no matter how they feel. Like I think that you two will have like this whirlwind. There's a lot of emotions here, a lot going on, but I think there needs to be a deeper conversation and a letting go on both of your parts. So maybe even with the Queen of Swords there, it's like she also needs to let down her guard. And maybe it's important for you to also communicate that and say, like, I need you to let down your guard. With the Page of Swords here, this can also talk about expressing your needs. So if you're showing up as the Page of Swords and she's the Queen of Swords, you might feel really intimidated by her ability to communicate. You might not feel like you can communicate at her level, but your souls communicate just fine. But like in the 3D, you have a hard time. You feel insecure. It's not so much insecure. It's like just feeling really intimidated. But it's important for you to level up and learn this spiritual lesson of you also have needs, and you need to ask your needs to be met. She might not realize that, or she might not know, you know, she might be expecting you to, she might be looking at you as you're the King of Swords, like you're on her level. And she doesn't know that you feel intimidated. She might not feel that like you don't know how to express your needs and ask for your own needs to be met. And maybe you need to ask her to be receptive as well. Like with this pulse of the mother, slow down, time in nature, and she's laying here, like maybe you need to tell her, I need you to relax and lay there and listen to me. And but in that way of like, I need you to be more receptive to my needs. I need to tell you what my needs are, right? We have to have that kind of conversation. And that might be really challenging for you. And I think that is something that you might need to be overcoming this week as well, is this fear of this person, putting them up on a pedestal and making them out to be this like mystical creature who's too good for you, or out of your league, or what are they showing? They're showing me like when you put someone on a pedestal, like, and it's kind of unfair to that person because they didn't ask for that role, right? They didn't ask for it to be put up there. And maybe with the Queen of Swords, they also don't know how to surrender, right? The Queen of Swords can be very defensive as well, have issues around control. So she might not know how to let her guard down. And so I think this is about you taking that lead, but the Emperor that showed up as well and is like, I'm going to take the lead now. I want you to just lay there and relax and take it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but like, you just need to let me do my thing with, like, in this with you in like a, 18 plus kind of a way. If that's what needs to happen. But, without that clouding the reading, it's more like coming to her and saying, or to this person, expressing your needs. I feel like that's really important for you. It really getting in touch with what you do need and from her and from the situation, and asking for your needs to be met. Maybe she doesn't know. She doesn't know what your love language is, perhaps, with the Page of Swords and the Ace of Cups over here. Maybe she doesn't know what your love language is. Have you asked her, or have you told her, like, this is how I want you to love me, right? And this is what I want, this is what I need from you in order to feel loved, in order to be in this with you, right? Like, there's a lot here. There's so much. This is a heavy, I just wanted to have a light-hearted thing, you guys. Okay, I'm gonna end this there because that's deep. Okay. Yeah, and they're like, that's what she said. Okay, I'm not gonna go there. 18 plus, you guys. Not gonna do it here. So yeah, thank you for being here and sharing your energy with me. I really appreciate you. And I feel kind of sad and stuck right now. Maybe this is your energy. I just feel really sad and stuck, and I don't think that Spirit wants that for you. I think that Spirit really wants this Ace of Cups, really wants you guys to connect and be together and share this depth of feeling that is so rare, and you just have to step out of your own way. I think both of you maybe, but anyways, thank you for being here. If this resonated, if you liked the reading, give it a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please consider doing that. And I look forward to reading for you next time. All right, have a great day. Bye. What's up, pile number 2? Welcome to your reading. Pile number 1 was a little longer than I was expecting it to be. But we'll see how yours goes. Loosen your grip. Coping mechanisms, density, addiction, let God in. It's like you've been clinging to something for dear life, and it's just like, just let go. And at first, when she's first falling from whatever's up here, she's like, no. And then she's like, okay, I'm going to surrender to this. I need to pull tarot to get into this because there's a lot going on here. Coping mechanisms, density, addiction, let God in. Let your spirit guides help you. Let God help you in this situation. How are you using this situation as a coping mechanism? Look at it and look at patterns in your life, they're saying, in this situation. Does this mirror or reflect other things that you've been through in the past? Is this a pattern, a familiar pattern that you can see in your life when you really look back at your journey? There is a lot of density. There's a lot of heaviness. There's a lot of gripping, like just trying to hold on to something that maybe isn't yours to hold on to. Addiction if you struggle with addiction, and addiction is so many different things. It's not just chemical addictions, but there's process addictions, emotional addictions, right? I feel like depending on what the situation is, you can also substitute one addiction for another. So if you struggled with let's say a chemical addiction in the past, and now you've sort of substituted that, I don't want to say that you are doing this, but you're substituting that for a process addiction or an emotional addiction or something else. That can also be the case, right? So coping mechanisms can come in so many different ways, so many different things. It's not just chemicals, it's not just alcohol and drugs, and it could be work, right? Maybe it's working too much, right? Holding on to a project for too long. Maybe it's holding on to friendships, right? Holding on to relationships that are really toxic for you, and that could be a coping mechanism. Eating food, right, can be a way that you cope. Getting defensive or clinging, like being super clingy, or being really avoidant. So there's the look at attachment theory, and what's your attachment style? You know, do you have like a typical neurotypical sort of, what's it called, like just a healthy attachment style, or are you more of an avoidant or an anxious attachment or a disorganized attachment style? That I think is something important for you as well. If this revolves around connections of any kind, friendships, even workplaces, you can even find patterns, similar patterns, and not only romantic relationships, but friendships, family, work. It kind of follows you everywhere you go. It's not just, but they just come out strongly, right? Our maladaptive behaviors that we use to cope with the trauma and stress of not being attuned to in childhood, that follows us in so many different areas of our lives, and it kind of mirrors each other everywhere, or it rhymes, I guess is the better way to say it, in all areas of your life. You just don't notice it when you're in it. But I'm hearing that slogan, like, let go and let God, when I see the let God in, and just really letting go of your grip. The density, like this, I'm seeing somebody like sitting and just biting their nails, like just, you know, just like full of worry, full of fear, full of stress, worrying so much about this situation, about what you've been going through the last little while. And I'm feeling it in my solar plexus too. More so that in my solar plexus than anywhere else, like not even in my heart chakra. It's like just this need to control and hold on to something. What does that say about you? What does this situation, and it could be this could be you, or it could be somebody else, but the King of Cups is they could be a Pisces, Capricorn. Sorry, not Capricorn. I got distracted. The King of Cups is water sign, potentially. So it could be Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. And then underneath that is the Queen of Pentacles. So this could be either one of you, maybe. So the Queen of Pentacles is a, sorry, that was blurry. Let me put that up here. She is a earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. And then we have the Justice card underneath that. So there's some sort of karmic releasing that's happening, I think, between the two of you. I'm going to do that. I'm going to put this Justice in the middle. There's some sort of karmic debt. It could be a past life connection. You could feel very strongly with this person. There could be this kind of past life. You're repeating or balancing a karmic relationship from a past life, a previous life, or even the past in this life, perhaps. But there's this balancing, this karmic debt that's being released here. Or something that's coming into balance in some way. But with the Five of Cups under that, it's like a loss. And I think that this is like letting go of this situation, of this person, of this relationship, of this connection, and like allowing change to happen naturally and easily, right? And then, oh my God, like all these cards at the bottom of the deck, there's so much like the Tower, Eight of Swords, look at this. Four of Pentacles, which talks about control or holding on too tightly, frugality even, or trying to really hold on to your, if addictions is something that's going on here for you or both of you, this could be about really clinging to your sobriety in some way, whatever that means for you in this situation, whether it's like, and I talked about the slogan, let go and let God. It could be like clinging to the program itself, if whatever program you might be in, like clinging to it. I mean, was in Al-Anon for a little bit, so I learned some of the slogans, but clinging to that, clinging to this person, right? Using this person to kind of help you with your sobriety in some way, using them as this, what's the word? Like a substitute. Relationships or emotional addiction can be a substitute for chemical addictions as well, or work addictions. It fills the void, whatever it is, it's filling this void inside that needs love, it needs connection, it needs to be seen, it needs validation, that never got it. This beautiful little inner child that didn't get love, it didn't get connection, it wasn't seen, it had to beg for love, and so we repeat these behaviors. We fill it with unhealthy things, whatever that is, chemicals, work, notoriety, right? That's what a narcissist is. A narcissist is somebody who wasn't seen and then became this domineering person who needs to be the center of attention, compulsively, because they were never seen when they were a child, and they were never loved and attuned to and cared for the way they needed it. So, humanity, being a human in this life is hard. But there's this need to let go of this situation, this person, so that something else can come in. Man, okay, so the Magician. Oh no, that was at the end. Okay, they want me to do it a different way. So we have the Hierophant, which can talk about spirituality, can talk about your program, right? If you're in one of the a program like Al-Anon or AA or NA or whatever, if there's whatever other ones are available. It can talk about therapy even to a certain extent. It can talk about your faith, right? Even your faith in yourself, your faith in the world. I do think that this is, they keep saying spiritual lessons. This is a big spiritual lesson. And then with the Justice card, karmic balancing, there's this karmic balance, things coming into balance karmically between you and this person, or in this situation, kind of releasing and cutting that cord, so that you don't repeat these cycles again. Maybe you guys came together to learn something about yourselves and about your compulsions, and need to come into these unions because you feel to sort of fill a void because of some sort of deficit, this perceived deficit within yourself. And so you use other people to make you feel better. But then what are they showing me? They're just, my solar plexus is gripping so tightly. It's I can't even speak. Six of Swords can talk about going somewhere, a trip, traveling, distance. The Nine of Pentacles here can talk about being single, right? Or focusing on yourself or your own desires, whatever you want for your life, really focusing on you. It's a solo card, whereas the Ten of Pentacles is about family and togetherness and community and stuff. But the Nine of Pentacles is about self-fulfillment, what your desires are, or being single, right? Moving away from something, maybe moving away from a program, perhaps, and focus on your own desires, and not just. And I don't want to say that that's what you need to do, but perhaps it's like being in a cult, right? Not that AA and Al-Anon and all that are a cult. There is something I find to be a little odd, the way they kind of, being in Al-Anon, it really kind of freaked me out how everybody was so like, we're not worthy of this program when everybody was talking about it. And it was very much like, instead of being self-focused, it was very program focused. But what about yourself? Like, what about your own desires? What about your own needs? I think that it's easy to start to use therapy or one particular therapist, right? Like the how do you say it? Nightingale effect, right? Where you even feel this void inside of you with a spiritual community, with religion, and not just faith in God or faith in some sort of higher power. This is like faith that like these people in this community know better than me, right? Instead of really just knowing what's really good for you and yourself. So there's a line, right? There's a line that you walk this fine balance of in any spiritual practice, in any faith-based practice. We see it over and over again in different religions, and how spiritual leaders take advantage of their spiritual power over others. And that's no different in these types of programs, and even in just separate groups, right? Not all groups are the same. Not all people in those groups are the same. I don't know, that's a whole other tangent. And I don't want to put these programs down, because I think they're definitely very useful and beneficial, and people need them for sure. But there's something about moving away from that to really focus on your desires, what you want. Because there's this big world out there, and it's not, I think that sometimes these communities can be, and even churches, right, can be very small. And there can be a lot of toxic energy in those communities as well, that keep you stuck and tethered to them, which is that codependence. It's like being codependent on the program, on these people, on this way of having faith. It has to be this way, you know, in order to do whatever it is you want out of the program. And I mean, everybody is where they're at and needs their own sort of process in order to integrate their wounds and heal and move forward in their lives. And then we have the Ace of Swords, which can be about a breakthrough in manifestations, right? A breakthrough in your life, right? With the Magician there. The Ace of Swords can be about conversations, but this, with all these cards, with the Justice and the Hierophant and the Ace of Swords and the Magician, right? The Death card, like there's this huge transformation that you are going through right now. It's like rumbling underneath your feet. And it's like this awakening is happening within you. We don't have the Judgment card here. Not yet anyways, but it's not here. But it's like this awakening that's happening, and there's a moving away from something that's very traditional, very structured, almost overly structured for you, and like moving over into something a little bit more self-based. Faith based. There we go. With the Nine of Pentacles, it's like, what do you believe? What do you want? What do you want your life to be like? What do you want? What experiences do you want? What's your goal? What's your dream? What's your desire? And moving towards that and having this breakthrough of like, I can manifest that on my own. I can break through my addictions, my trauma, my coping mechanisms. I don't necessarily need this way. It's not always just about this way. There is other ways, or is another way, or there are other ways. I met this woman at this mom support group once, and she was telling me her and her husband were both in AA, and she told me these stories about what she had gone through, and it was really, really like overwhelming. And her and her husband were both in AA for like 10 years, I think, together, and they were married, and they worked through a lot of their stuff. And then eventually she left AA and moved to like a Christian-based form of AA, and it was different and more like suited for her. But her husband stayed in AA, and like that made him happy. He really enjoyed it, and that was his community. But so there are other ways to work through this and to align with your true self and to go after your dreams and goals that aren't necessarily this one structured way. It doesn't always have to be this way. There's other ways, right? And you'll figure that out. And I feel like this next week, the next 7 days for you, you're going to figure out that there is another way, or you're having a spiritual breakthrough in terms of, I know how to manifest something else. I can manifest my own life. I don't need to be tethered to these coping mechanisms. What I'm also hearing is I am not my coping mechanisms. You know, in these groups, from what I've heard, it's like, hi, my name is X and I am a addict, and I don't even know, like, I don't know if they go through their, like what, you know, I assume in AA, it's like I'm an alcoholic, but in other programs, I don't know, like, whatever, it doesn't matter. But then what you're doing spiritually, if you think about it in a way of manifesting, right? When you say I am, then that you're taking that on as who you are, right? I am an addict. Okay, so that's what else, that's who you are. So then you self-identify as this thing. You know, I'm a trauma survivor. I'm a victim. And for the longest time, I did that too. Like, I'm a victim. I am this trauma survivor, an abuse survivor. And then I started to really think about what that subconsciously was doing to me and the people around me, and what I was attracting with that mentality of, like, I'm a victim, I'm a victim, I'm a victim. And then I kept experiencing experiences in life that put me in this victim state, right? And that's not healthy. And so I'm like, okay, let's flip the switch on that. I am not just a victim. I am a survivor. I've been through a lot, and like, I've survived a lot, and that makes me powerful. That makes me strong and resilient. I am not just a victim. I'm not a victim. I'm a survivor. So if this is about addictions, let's say, right, or chemical addictions, you know, it's, I think initially just to kind of admit and take accountability, like, yeah, what they're saying is, instead of saying, if addiction is a thing, or instead of saying I'm a workaholic, right? Instead of saying I am an addict, I am an alcoholic, you can say I have alcoholism. I have addiction. Not I am an addict, I am an alcoholic. I have alcoholism, I have addiction. You don't say I am cancer. And addiction is a disease, even if it's a process addiction, even if it's like gambling compulsions. You know, I'm a gambler. No, I have a compulsive tendency to gamble. What would be the alternative for that? There's even Gamblers Anonymous, you know, and it's like, instead of taking on that self-identifying as I am this wounded person and I'll never recover, like, what if you could recover in a different way? Like, maybe you might have to stay away from chemicals if that's the thing that's going on here, because of the way the chemicals react with your body. That's, you know, one thing, and then stay away from those things. But instead of taking it on like I am this wounded person and I'm never going to get any better and this is who I am and I just have to sort of deal with that, which is to an extent true, what else is true for you? Who else are you? You're not just this addict. You're not just this compulsive, you know, someone who's addicted to intimacy. I don't know if you're allowed to say sex on YouTube yet, but you know, I'm not just that kind of an addict. You know, that's not it. You're like, I'm this person who didn't get the love that I needed when I was a kid and when I was growing up, and I grew up in this toxic environment, and I took that on, and I have this void inside of me that I'm trying to fill. So what else can you identify in that? Like, how else can you look at that and say, like, I'm a survivor and I'm going to go after my dreams in other ways, and I can have anything that I want, whatever that is. You know, that's what manifestation is. It's feeling the end result now. So if you're always in this state every single day, you're going to meetings and stuff every single day and repeating this phrase, I am this, I am this, I am this. How that just really, to me, and I never used to think this way. You know, I used to tell people, my mom even, like, go to Al-Anon, you need it, right? My grandmother, you should go to AA, or these things. And and now, after being a little more, after observing it in having a different perspective from different life circumstances, I just feel like the environments can be a little bit toxic and have this like self-fulfilling prophecy of like limitations, right? It really puts you into this limited state of mind. And that's not the intention, though, and I don't think that that's what happens for everybody, but some people might, right? And then so the addiction, instead of the chemicals or work or gambling or whatever, become emotional, connecting with the other people, like feeding off of the energy in those rooms. And when I was in Al-Anon, it was kind of strange, and I respect the program. I got a lot out of the program when I was in it. But there was something about when you entered into a new room as a new person or new into that room, people were like vultures, like coming in and like, do you have a sponsor? Have you read this book? You need this, you need that, you need that, and like trying to tell you what to do, even though that's not what they're supposed to be doing. But they do, because they're human and they have their own wounds and struggles, and they're also trying to fill this void. And in Al-Anon, it's different. It's like this void of the addict in their lives that have caused them a lot of pain. But it's not just that. It's like looking at themselves from the standpoint of what draws me into these relationships with these people. What is it about me that tries to help and heal these people? What is it that happened in my childhood that draws me into being this like compulsive caretaker of other people? So I really respected that, but I've gotten a lot of help in terms of my own, my own wounds from trauma resources, understanding trauma, what that means. Dr. Gabor Mate is incredible when it comes to healing trauma, especially when it comes to addictions. And he talks a lot about his own addictions with but being a workaholic. And because we see somebody who's very successful and has all this notoriety, we put them up on this pedestal like, oh my God, you're amazing. But he has struggled and has had so many difficulties in his relationships with his wife, with his children. It's taken him a long time to come to terms with the damage that he's done in his relationships and throughout his life. So yes, he might have money and the notoriety, but what he says in his books is like, I had the money to support my problem, which was he had this a shopping addiction plus workaholism, right? Like, and other people, that doesn't seem like a problem, especially if you have the money to support it. But it was a problem because it caused a lot of issues and tension in his relationships with people he dearly loved. So I think that there's just a different way. And so I feel like you in the next week are having this breakthrough and realizing that there's a different way forward. Or there could be, like maybe keeping some things, take what resonates. Like we say, like tarot readers say, take what resonates and leave the rest. Like you don't have to take it all in. Take what works for you and then do what you need to do. And I know that they say that in Al-Anon too, like just take what works with you and then you don't have to, leave the rest. But there is something about the environment. It's not the program, it's the environment, the people, and the connecting through wounds that can be an issue, even in churches, right? Even in faith-based churches, there's this abuse of power that can happen, this power struggle, which it wasn't meant to when they were first created. It wasn't meant to be that, and yet that's what it has become. And nothing against the people in these things, because we're all human and we all have our I keep saying wounds, but caprices, I guess. Maladaptive behaviors that have come out of our own painful experiences. And until we become aware of those, we can't really do the work to heal them. And, like cognitive behavioral therapy is really good if you're not constantly in your limbic system in your animal brain, always constantly reacting to triggers. And that's hard, right? It's really, and I'm not going to go into a whole like neuro explanation of all that, but I don't have time in these readings. But so that for me, like I found that doing more body work, trauma work, body mind trauma work has been more helpful in helping me cut some of compulsive behaviors or shift them and become aware of them than like other things that I've tried. And I started out kind of the same: yoga, spirituality, Reiki. I'm like a Reiki master. you know, doing all these sort of spiritual based things. And now, to be honest, a lot of times in my videos and when I write, you know, Facebook posts, I'm angry at the spiritual community sometimes because they gaslight trauma survivors. It's like, you're not doing it right then. You're too low vibrational. Well, where does that low vibration come from? It comes from your painful past experiences that led you to this point. You don't deserve any of that. You didn't manifest it. You know, weren't born into a toxic family and it's your fault, right? There's things that you need to process and work through, and that's a part of being human. That's a part of our journey here. And there's no one right way to do it. And usually one thing leads to another. This didn't work. So when I was in a horrible state. I was like, I'm going to go to India. I just took off. I'm going to India and I'm just going to do yoga. Yoga's the answer. And then that worked for a little while until I started having panic attacks and stuff again. And the behaviors didn't change. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do Reiki, energy healing. That's where it's at. And then that worked for a little while and that was good. And then old behaviors and compulsions started coming back again. Okay, well, and I kept repeating and attracting the same kind of relationships, the same situations and doing the same things. And it wasn't really getting me anywhere, even though I was doing the spiritual work. And I was like, but I should be getting better. How come I'm not getting any better? And it's like, well, then I started to learn about, and I've been doing spirituality and like tarot readings and crystals and all that kind of thing. But for me, what really shifted was the understanding of first quantum mechanics, right? And how energy actually works. But then also the human experience and our traumas and how our experiences shape us. And turn us into these things, condition us to be these people that we weren't actually meant to be. And that's where the true spirituality for me comes from, is overcoming the conditioning and awakening to your true self. Oh my God. Okay, so this card came out. Staying focused, hold the course. So I think that this really goes along with these last three cards here. It's like staying focused on Nine of Pentacles, on your dreams, on what you're looking to manifest. Keep focusing on it with all of your being, not just your mind, with your heart too. Really focus on what it is that you really want, how you want to feel, how you want to show up in your life. And then the right process for you will unfold. And maybe letting go of processes that have worked for you to a certain extent, but maybe they're not working anymore. Maybe there's something else that needs to happen. Maybe you need to take another route in order to get to where you want to go. Looking at the big picture instead of like just focusing on like the really small world that you're in right now. So the next week, let's just pull these cards. And again, like I don't want to talk bad about these programs because they end faith, like the church and all that. There's so many good aspects, but there can be so many toxic aspects too. Even spirituality, the spiritual community, I find sometimes listening to readers, I'm like, or even listening to, and I love Abraham Hicks, but some things they say, I'm like, that's not really right. You're not really understanding, especially trauma survivors. And where there's addiction, there's trauma. So, you have to work with the trauma. You have to work with your inner child. It's not just about the coping, like how do I cope? How do I keep from using again? How do I keep from obsessively exercising? How do I keep from, it's not just that. It's like, let's look at integrating and healing and resolving the inner wounds that led us there in the first place. Because until you do that, it's easy to substitute one addiction for another, one compulsion for another, without doing the inner work that you need to do in order to not eradicate, but like integrate your shadows and free yourself from the compulsions and from this type of energy that you've been stuck in and clinging to, thinking that it's helping, when really it's just further embedding this idea that like I have no control. Okay, so then we have the Three of Cups and the Sun. So at the end of this week, well, let's just see. Three of Cups can talk about joy, fun, family, community, friends. It can also talk about, I just want to see what this is though. Before I get into, I've already been talking for 30 minutes. I wasn't planning on doing these long readings today. I just wanted it to be like, but I am a spiritual teacher. That's what I've been called to do. And I've gone through, just like you, I've gone through, like, it's like God took me into the darkness to look at it, like, ooh, the darkness, like, okay, there it is, that's what it's about, and then pulls me back, and then dips me back in, and then pulls me back. It's so annoying, but necessary, right? Because now I can bring these messages to you and really help you, and people and other people like us, because, you know, we've been there. We've been through really not good things. But I think that if we have compassion for ourselves and others, but we really, you know, take what resonates and leave the rest and follow our heart can, our true heart can never lead us astray, ever, ever, ever. But it's getting into alignment. How do I listen to that heart? How do I listen to my intuition? What's true, what's not true for me? And what's true for you might not be true for somebody else. And learning to decipher the difference. I'm not even asking any questions right now. What is this? Three of Cups. And then the Nine of Cups again. Nine of Pentacles again. So like following your own dreams. There's some sort of like, yeah, and then the King of Cups again. Ace of Wands again. Or not again, but like the Ace of Wands. King of Wands. There's a lot of people here. Like there's a lot of just... Okay, what's the Sun card? The Hanged Man. In reverse. So I think that with the Ace of Swords, this is like a spark of, not intuition, but like, what was I gonna say? A breakthrough in your perceptions. There's a breakthrough in your perceptions happening about something that's going on in your life, something really challenging. I think that it's about a karmic relationship with the Justice and those two cards there. I feel like it's a breakthrough in how you perceive this situation, whatever it is for you. And then the Tower at the bottom of the deck here. So like releasing control of something that's falling apart. Not resisting the change. And following with the Ace of Wands, the King of Cups, and the Nine of Pentacles, it's like following your heart's desire, your true desire. Where is that leading you? Following that and going for it, really going for that, letting whatever needs to fall away, letting it go. It's not your problem anymore, and just focusing on like, what is it, really being honest with yourself. What do I really want? And I'm gonna go for it, whatever it takes. And I think that Spirit's saying also that once you make that decision to go for this thing, this Nine of Pentacles, this wish fulfillment for you, whatever that thing is for you, once you make the decision to go for it, then Spirit will clear the way. If there's blockages, if there's something blocking you and this dream, this thing, this whatever it is, the Nine of Pentacles, your wish fulfillment, whatever that is, I think there's a lot of like, you allowing other things, this karmic situation, to get in the way. Because there's like a lot of other people's stuff in here, like getting in the way of something. And you're like seeing it clearly now. And you're like, I'm gonna, with the Eight of Cups, here, it's like, I'm going to let that go. I'm going to walk away from what's not serving me anymore, and I'm going to go towards my light. And then the Nine of Wands at the bottom of the deck, like to hell with the blockades, you know, to hell with whatever's challenging me. And I think that Spirit works in this wonderful, magical way that when we make a decision, even if it's just in our energy space, like maybe if we don't vocalize it yet, but we make the decision within our minds and within our hearts, Spirit sort of clears the path. And that's a big part of what manifestation is like really making the choice, knowing that you're worthy of it, knowing that yes, this is what I want. And then like taking, even if it's a baby step in the right direction, Spirit is like, okay, you're serious. Ta-da, here's a miracle that will allow this thing to happen for you. The Hermit, Chariot. Yeah, so this is the last thing I'm gonna say, or I'll pull one of the Sacred Traveler cards, but the Hermit, which is like coming out of isolation, or like out of that healing, out of this like isolation, this bubble they're showing me, and then going after, with the Chariot, going after what it is that you want. The Chariot is we have Virgo, so the Hermit card is Virgo, and then the Chariot is Cancer. So there's a lot of that energy in this reading. And then we have the Four of Wands. So it's like coming out of isolation, going after what you want. And then because you're showing Spirit that like, yes, this is what I want, and I deserve it, I'm going to go after it. I know I'm going to be, like in your mind, I know that what I want, and I know I'm going to be successful. Then the Four of Wands is celebration. It could be union, like the Four of Wands is the 1111 card, so it's like the twin flame card. It could be also like the marriage card. You know, some people look at it as the marriage card, or celebration, usually with other people of some kind of family celebrations. But it's just like a very joyous, stable card where you've coming out of isolation, going after what you want, and then finding the thing and feeling very good about it, feeling stable, secure, and like this grounded energy as well. So it could be, like it could be union, 1111, twin flames, marriage kind of card. But that's, I think, the big picture of maybe the Hanged Man in reverse, like shifting a perception of what is possible for you. Like, are you doing this karmic situation? Is it what you want, or is it what has been helpful for right now? Right? We have the King of Cups has come up. I don't know who you are in this situation, but the King of Cups has come up twice, and then we have the Queen of Pentacles there. And the Queen of Pentacles is very nurturing, very mothering, very helpful, very supportive energy. And the King of Cups is very passionate and loving and nurturing and gentle and all that. Very creative, very intuitive. Right? But there's this separation that's coming to this situation because it wasn't meant to be long term. It was meant to teach you something about yourself, and them about themselves, whoever you are in the situation. I think both of you are going through this spiritual awakening and realizing, like, I'm not happy, and I got to start to get happy, you know? Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Begin now. Take your first step. I already said that. Just go. Take a step towards the desire that you're thinking of. Just take the step. Take the first step. And then Spirit will support the rest of the journey, you know? But they want to know that you're serious and that you're going to do it this time. Transformation. A fresh new way of living emerges. Ooh. Yes. Ooh. Sorry. Just want to like flap my wings at you guys. I'm so silly right now. I feel really inspired by you. I feel like, you know, you've gone through a lot of stuff, and and you're dealing with a lot of stuff right now that feels unfair almost. Like, it's like, what can I do? Like, looking up at the heavens, like, what can I do? I don't know what to do. But it's this, the key is shifting the perceptions and then like actually choosing, oh, okay, and feeling like you are worthy of that desire. Like, yes, oh, I want that. Oh, yes, that's for me. I deserve that. Like, and then going after it. Like I have been a fool. They're singing the Elvis song to me. Should I sing to you guys? No. When I'm just not on the camera and I sing to Aria and I sing all the time at home, it's like, it's pretty funny. But it's like, wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole heart too, but I can't help. Okay, sorry, that came out of nowhere, and my stepdad used to listen to Elvis like all the time. So sometimes, you know, you don't listen to that music and then you realize, and it's just like embedded in you, in your cells. But it's like the line, wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. It's like the spiritual community or the community that you're in are saying, don't do this. There's all these rules about how you should proceed in your healing transformation journey. And you're like, okay, but like my heart wants to go this way. Oh my God, all these things are happening right now. Spirit world is going crazy. Alexa, off. I've been talking for too long on this message. But it's like, they're telling you like, no, you have to follow the rules. These are the rules of our fellowship. I don't know what that just came through, so I don't know what that means. But these are the rules. You have to follow the rules. And you're like, but my heart's telling me to go over there, and like I don't know what to do, because I know that I need to, if this is about recovery or something like that, I know I need to take care and like make sure that I'm stable and whatever. But I feel like some of you are really also at the same time blocking your heart, and your heart is like no, this isn't right. Like it knows that something's not right in this situation. And so I think there's a lot of like, follow your heart here too. Follow your heart's desires and it'll lead you to where you're meant to be. Okay. If you like this reading, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know that it resonated. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. And I'm so happy to share your energy with you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for being here, and I look forward to reading for you next time. Have a great day. Bye. Pile number 3, welcome to your reading. Let's shift gears a little bit. I wanted to do like super quick and like the week ahead, what's going on? And Spirit's like, no, you're a spiritual teacher and you got to get to the heart of the matter and everything. So we'll just see what comes out of this, all right? You guys chose forge, don't follow, pave a new path, be the leader you wish you had. Ooh, power. It almost looks like she's going towards the Emerald City. And she knows that she has the power, or she doesn't know. Maybe that's what it is. You don't, because they're showing me the Wizard of Oz and Dorothy. It's like you don't know that you have all this power in you. in your shoes, in your ruby slippers. You don't know that you have the power in your little tiny pinky finger. You have no idea. But you do, you know, and you are like so powerful. You can create anything that you set your mind to. I'm going to pull the tarot because this is, I don't feel like it's going to be as long of a message, but I'm just going to let things flow as best I can. Mouth is dry. I always forget to bring water next to me. I don't want to stop though, because I'll have to take a break between your reading and pile number 4s. Forge, don't follow. Pave a new path. Be the leader you wish you had. I mean, I think it's pretty straightforward. It's like you are way more powerful than you think that you are. And this week, Spirit just wants you to step into that power. I think that Spirit has been asking you to step into that power for a really long time. And because of maybe life circumstances or there's also this feeling of like being very ethereal, like being very spiritually connected and gifted and in the 5D, like getting lost in the 5D and forgetting that you have to bring those gifts to the 3D. That's a big part of your mission here, is to bring something from the 5D into the 3D. They're saying as above, so below. Like you've been, I think, getting lost in the spiritual substance of your being, right? I think that maybe some of you could even be calling home, like, I want to come home, like, what am I doing here? I know, like, I resonate with that very strongly as well. For the longest, I mean, you see, like, if you have followed me for a little while, I'm like start and stop, and I get so lost in like in the in-between that I forget that I need to actually step into my mission here. And this is a very, I don't know if it's specific, but if this pile is for you, you'll resonate. Like, the leaders we have in the world today are not very strong leaders. They're good dictators. They're good at dominating other people. You know, they're sociopaths and narcissists, which are, you know, so narcissists are, you know, also wounded people, but like, they don't know how to lead. They don't know how to lead and connect and inspire, but you do. And I feel like you're doing a lot of head shaking at the world, like, ugh. And maybe you're trying to tell people how to do things, or what they need to see and what they need to do, but you're not showing them, Spirit's saying. Like, you're telling them, and people don't want to be told what to do. They want to follow somebody else, most people, right? And it's not their mission to be leaders, it's your mission, Spirit's saying. Don't get mad at them, be their leader. That was a little harsh. I didn't mean for it to sound so harsh, but like, I think you needed a little kick in the butt. 8 of Swords. There's something that scares you. There's some sort of anxiety and fear that's holding you back. Maybe you think that you're not strong enough with the Strength card here. Or maybe you're a little, maybe it's not that you don't think you're strong enough, but maybe it could be that people are actually afraid of your energy because you're being too forceful, right? And then, so maybe you're, instead of pushing your agenda, this is a very specific message for, like, you know, people in the convoy, you know what I mean, right? Like, there's a difference between leading people to pasture and like forcing them to pasture, you know what I mean? Ace of Cups. You need to work with where they're at, with their heart space. You don't need, speaking to them from a level of fear, trying to make them afraid of what's happening is not going to motivate them to do anything. You have to speak to their hearts. You have to comfort them and love them and have compassion for where they're at with the Queen of Cups. That's what people need. That's what they want, right? People don't like, I had a boss once that used to tell me, people don't like to be sold, but they love to buy. So to be the right kind of a salesperson, you have to make them think that it's their idea to a certain extent, right? But you need to capture their hearts and souls. It's not about their minds, it's about their hearts, because the heart is what drives us. Speaking from your heart. King of Swords. You are very intelligent and wise. Like, you have a cunning, they're saying, a cunning about you. You know how to figure things out. You're very detail-oriented. You can see things really clearly that other people can't see. That's one of your gifts. That's one of your spiritual gifts, or God-given gifts. You know how to make sense of really complicated situations. But what Spirit is saying is you lack empathy. And that's what's preventing you from being the leader that these people need. And they need you. There's no doubt about that. You're right that they need you. You're right that people need your wits, your intelligence, your wisdom. You have it naturally, I think. You know, again, like, you know how to really figure things out. Maybe, you know, how things work. Like, they're showing me mechanisms, like gears moving. So like very mechanical, maybe scientific, mathematical even. Like, that's how your mind, they're showing me that's how your mind sort of works. But you lack empathy. And I think that's the biggest problem with people like Elon Musk, right? He lacks empathy. He's a brilliant person, but he has, Spirit saying, he has no soul. You know, he's like, I'm a cyborg. Well, cyborgs are good punishers, right? But they're not great leaders. Not a leader in the true sense of the word. Mark Zuckerberg, same thing. He's like a, they're saying minion, but like, and I guess I can't use him as an example because they're saying minion, and so that leads me to think like there's other people up there going dee dee dee, puppets. He's just a puppet. Elon Musk is different though. Like, he, you know, so anyways, he's like, he lacks compassion, and so people don't really love him. I mean, people respect him, but they don't love him. They don't really follow him because, you're this genius, and I want to live like you. I want to be like you. No, people are like making fun of him. You know, they love to hate him. He's intelligent. They like listening to him, his theories and his thoughts and stuff, but they wouldn't follow him. He's not someone to follow off a cliff, you know what I mean? Or you would follow him, but like straight off the edge of a cliff, kind of. I'm not gonna go there, Spirit. No, we're not gonna do that right now. So we have Seven of Swords popped out. Seven of Swords. Sorry, I said Seven of Swords, but it's the Seven of Wands. I was so in the swords energy. I'm looking at these swords like, and I was thinking of the leader, the world, what's going on in the world, and I was thinking of the Seven of Swords and like what's hidden. So my mind was going this way, and this reading is going this way, and then the Lovers at the bottom of the deck, which can be about choices, defending choices. The Lovers is also about alignment, stepping into alignment. Oh, sugar. The Lover's card has some things on it that YouTube might limit me. Ugh, whatever. It's art. Come on. It's like, okay. Adam and Eve, right? I can't show you this card again because of how because of the nudity on the card, but they're showing me that, so there's this like it looks like the Judgment in this particular card. It's like God or the angels or whatever released Adam and Eve onto the world, and they said, do your best, right? Just do it, like do your worst. And then it's like, what happened? What happens happens. That's how the energy feels. And I feel like maybe you think that this is God's play. Like there's something about God's play. Is this God's play? Like, is this a joke? Like, what's going on here? And really like struggling, trying to defend something with the Seven of Wands, like just really defending things, struggling, like knowing what's right, and like having to defend yourself constantly can be very exhausting. But at the same time, in the Lovers, it's about choices. It's about stepping into alignment. It's about stepping into your truth. So you're like so busy struggling and like trying to get people to listen and take notice and of these things. And Spirit's like, no, you need to have a little more compassion, like step into your heart space a little bit, tap into other people's hearts. Like you need to be a little bit more of a compassionate leader because you have the mind for it. You just need the heart now. And so there's something about not being able to step into or for the longest time, not being able to step into alignment. There's something blocking the alignment. There's something blocking your heart a little bit. And it's stopping you from tapping into other people's hearts so that you can really lead them. All right, let's see what's going on. What's blocking pile number 3's heart? Okay, King of Wands. And then the Devil at the bottom of the deck. You have this authoritative nature, or it could be another authority. It could be, hold on, let me just get a couple, before I go off on that. The Devil, your own wounding. The King of Wands is this very strong leader. He's very inspirational. So he's not just intelligent and wise and can think through problems and is good at problem solving. He inspires people to move, and that's by tapping into their heart. But this is a part of you, I think. This is like an inner child that was wounded with the Devil. So with the Page of Wands, there's something about it, one of your inner child that was wounded that's blocking you from inspiring. And you actually have that ability. Like you are very inspiring. Like they're showing me somebody who's very inspiring, but you don't know how to inspire others. And I don't know, the Devil is something it's blocking you. Now, this could be very metaphysical, like quite literally the Devil is blocking your energy because you're meant to be this leader sent by the divine in order to help people move through this challenge in wherever you are in the world or in this time period in the world. It could quite literally be the Devil energy or demon energy, right? Draconian energy sort of blocking you intentionally. And then we have the Three of Wands there, which is like, but the Three of Wands is vision. Like it's almost like the Devil is literally blocking your vision somehow. like people are getting stuck in their own compulsions with the devil, in their own sins, for lack of a better word, just to make it easy to talk about. In their own conflicts, you know, in their own struggles. People are so busy focusing on their own stuff that they're not taking notice of you. And I think that that's orchestrated by this devil energy in the world, the darkness. This is a very metaphysical, ethereal sort of message. It's not for everybody. This is somebody who really believes and sees what's kind of happening in the 5D right now. This like intergalactic war that's kind of happening. Not everybody sees it. Not everybody wants to admit to it. Even spiritual teachers. You see it though. I think you know. You've always known since you were young, really young. Yeah, it's like the devil energy. Spirit, I swear to God, today I was like, I'm going to do these lighthearted, fun messages today. I'm going to do like 20 minutes. And they're like, nope, you're going to get into it. You were going to get into it. I swear. I don't know what to do. I feel like I shouldn't really say much on YouTube here. Yeah. Spirit's telling me to not continue with the message with the Four of Pentacles. They're saying you're, and then the High Priestess at the bottom of the deck. They're saying hold back some stuff. Okay, so I think that that's it though. I think that that's sort of the message. In order to overcome this devil energy, whatever that is, you have to tap into your heart space a little bit more. I know you see what's going on. You see it. I get it. I'm there. I see it too. But like, that's not what's going to make shifts in your community. You have to tap into the heart space, to the compassion and love. You have to show these people some compassion and connect with them in a different way, because the way you've been going about it, although is right, is not like you're wrong. You can see very clearly what's happening. And you've always seen it, and you have this ability to lead and inspire people, but what's missing for you is the compassion, is the love, is the nurturing, is the and perhaps what's this Queen of Cups? Yeah, Eight of Wands. The Queen of Cups, Eight of Wands is communication, right? Things moving forward. That's what's gonna move things forward for you. Perhaps you've been thinking that you need somebody else, like you need a partner in order to make a shift, in order for things to move. But this is you. This is you needing to tap into this, your heart space, you needing to connect on this emotional level, because you have this, everything it takes to be this leader. This is your calling with the Justice card. Like, you know the truth. This is also about truth. Like knowing the truth. And you're correct. Spirit wants you to know that you're right. The Death card at the bottom of the deck. Transformation. There's a big shift happening. It's already started on this planet, in the galaxy, in the universe, but it's not so obvious to everybody in the 3D on Earth. It's not so obvious yet, but things are shifting. Did I show you the Two of Pentacles? This came out. Things are shifting. I think that they're shifting very rapidly, and so Spirit is really calling you to take action. But this week and for the next little while, focus on your heart, focusing on opening your heart, focusing on having some compassion. focusing on healing and being more of a, you don't have to be a healer, but just ensuring that people are focusing on their well-being, their healing as well, instead of just forcing this very metaphysical concept to people that aren't ready to hear it. So instead, softening your approach, focusing on your heart space, and allowing the people to come to you and ask you for guidance from a heart-centered space. You know, they need to be able to trust that you're going to be able to take care of them and nurture them through this really big upheaval that's about to happen. And I don't think that they really, I think that they have, with the Ten of Wands, I think that your energy is very dense, and I think that they have a hard time feeling comfortable with you because of that intensity, because of how clearly you can see and how passionate you are. But they feel very overwhelmed by your energy, by what you're saying. And they're like, okay, that's great, but like, I don't know, even you're telling me all these things and I don't know where to start. So you have to start with the heart space. You have to start with the healing. You have to help them decondition their body mind from the painful experiences, from the gaslighting, from the manipulation in this world. Because until they decondition from their conditioning and what they've experienced here, they're not going to be able to hear your message at all. And then they're just going to stay stuck. Yeah, look at that celebration. It's exactly, Spirit's like, yep, you got it. At the end of the day, focus on community, joy and love, and right, inspiring. Like they're showing me the Queen of Wands at the bottom here, which is like being inspirational, but taking a bit of a softer approach, softening your edges a little bit. I think for you, there's a lot of masculine energy coming here, but you need to kind of balance out that energy with your feminine. You need a little bit of a softer approach in order to really make the impact that you are here to make. Okay. I didn't pull a lot of extra cards. Oh, there's too many, Spirit. No. Okay, I just want like one message from the Divine Travelers deck for you. This is, sorry, my mouth is so dry. I'm almost done, and then I'll go get some water, and I'll do the next one. Oh my gosh. Okay. Crossing bridges. It's time for healing, connecting, mending, and releasing. Yeah. And that's exactly everything that I was saying. Healing, connecting, mending, releasing, heart, releasing from the conditioning, connecting with people in their heart center through joy, through love, through community, healing from painful of the past, gaslighting, the manipulation that we've all experienced here, mending bridges, right? This could literally mean, and because there's a Seven of Wands there, mending a bridge that will take you somewhere, like physically. That could be something to look at for some of you. Like, look at your passageway, they're saying. Yeah, I'm not going to keep going because this is... Also, I want to say, be careful of what you put out there online right now. Be careful of the person that can be found right now. You know what I mean? I think you do. Now's not the time to make waves or ruffle feathers. Now's the time to build up your resources. So stop making waves right now. Take a breath, take a beat, take a minute. Make sure that your community, it feels safe and strong and is healed, right? Make sure that that's going on before you before you push forward. Because that's the pushing right now too early is just going to illuminate your, oh gosh, I don't know if I want to say it. It's like you're a beacon for the darkness. And I get it. It took me a long time to start doing these videos because I'm like, if I put myself out there, then I'm like a beacon of light for the darkness to come and start attacking. And this is like a very, like, just out there message. So if you're watching this and you know, like, you're my people and welcome, and I'm so glad to connect with you, but like, damn, we can't be so open yet. It's not time yet. You have other things that need to be done first. Help people heal, help people connect, help people trust you. People need to trust you, have compassion for them, for where they're at and what they've been through and what's blocking them from seeing your messages, because it's not that your message isn't strong and powerful. It's not that you're not the leader that they need and want. It's just that there's other things blocking the way right now, and there will be a time where God's showing me that they will highlight you, illuminate you as this leader, but now is not the time. And if you make too many waves, then you won't be able to fulfill that mission that you're meant to fulfill here. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It seems so silly, but give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed to my channel. And you could message me on Facebook or email me if you want to chat about all this stuff. But like, yeah, just like tame your horses a little, right? Focus on what you can do. There's a workaround a little bit, just a little bit. And no, you're going to be like, no, I don't want to do that. And your ego is going to be like, no, we got to do it right now. I get it. I feel it too. I'm like, we got to go. Let's go. But the world's not ready yet. You need to gather the people. They need to trust you. They need to feel you. They need to relate. They need to know that you're safe, that you're a safe person to lead them. And right now, you're so caught up in the, like, we gotta go, we gotta do this, that your energy is actually repelling them. So just like shift the energy a bit and you're gonna be great. So that's your focus for this week and probably for the next little while. All right, thanks for being here. And again, just like, I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hey, pile 3. Oh, I meant to say pile 4. That's so weird. That happened again. So in the beginning of this whole thing, these cards came out and I felt the energies were separate. And then I thought, oh, you want me to do 4 piles? And I just said pile 3. And they're saying continuation. So if you're coming here from pile 3 to watch pile 4, welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. I still feel like the energies are very different, but they could be related, so we'll see. Let's see, shall we? I took a bit of a break between pile 3 and pile 4, so the energies are a little bit different. The lighting might be different, I don't know. But the energies are definitely different. So let's see what we've got here for pile number 4. Breath of the Cosmos. My will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. I think when you read this card and you hear micromanaging, you think it's this negative connotation. It could be, you're trying to control your manifestations, you're trying to control the outcome. But I also see this card as very powerful manifestation abilities. Everything you speak into the world, into your reality in your life manifests. It becomes your reality. Everything you speak becomes your reality. Everything you think becomes your reality. So there is a strong message coming through about being careful what you say, what you think, what you feel, right? And we can't always control all of that, right? Knowing how the human body mind works, it's not possible. At least when you begin the deconditioning process, deconditioning from your life experiences, getting less reactive and more intentional about your thoughts, about your actions. But in the beginning of this process, that is hard, and it also requires a lot of energy to be able to control your human instincts and impulses. But I think that you, this week, are starting to realize just how powerful your thoughts, your intentions, your words, your feelings even are. I think that there's a big shift happening for you in this understanding of what it means to let go of control while also being a conscious creator of your own life and of your own reality, and taking control of your own destiny as much as you can, right? Because we still have challenges that we're facing in this 3D world. We still have things to overcome. We still have spiritual lessons to learn. But I think that you are becoming more aware of your power, and that is truly magical. This is a really transformative time in your life. More than any other thing that you've been through. I see you've gone through a lot of tower moments, a lot of falling down, picking yourself back up, falling down, picking yourself back up, falling down, picking yourself back up. And this Spirit is saying kudos to you. We're proud of you. They're saying how proud they are of you. Like, I feel this overwhelming sense of emotion of being like a parent saying to you, like they're channeling this feeling to me, saying, we are so incredibly proud of you. You have no idea. Like, I want to cry. And Spirit doesn't have those types of emotions, so for them to sort of try to spark that is a big deal, I think. Sometimes Spirit even seems like they have a lack of empathy. Not so much God himself, like in the throne room, it's not, there's so much love and compassion and empathy in that room. I don't know if you've done any of that work, that astral projection, going into the throne room, crossing the rainbow bridge. Maybe you work with Haniel, who will take you across the rainbow bridge and like meet up in the throne room and talk to the ascended masters and talk to God. Because that space is not the astral plane. You know, it's like your spirit guides kind of lack empathy a little bit. They're very crisp, I guess, when they're talking. But and even the angels, you know, depending on who you're talking to, they're all very different, but sometimes they can be a little crass too. But your spirit guides are definitely, and your ancestors for sure, a lot of them have like no time for BS. It feels like, you know, they have a lot of compassion and understanding, but they also can be extremely not short-tempered, not short-fused, but they can be incredibly sassy and cutthroat, you know? They like get straight to the point. They want to cut through the BS. Ah, don't fall. I didn't even ask a question. I'm not going to take those. Okay. I'm just shuffling, chatting with you. I should have a coffee. I was thinking about doing on Patreon or something. I'm not sure. Just like a let's chat, have a glass of wine, or have a coffee or a tea or whatever, and just chat about life. Let's just chat about our experiences. I'm gonna figure that out. Maybe not Patreon, maybe like locals or something. know why I'm chatting with you about that right now. We'll see. I feel like you're my people. You know what I mean? You're like, you get it. You've been through the darkness. You've peered into the mouth of the devil, so to speak, and come back and reflect, and then peer into the pits of hell and despair. Come back, reflect. Right? Always integrating and elevating and moving up in your ascension. You know, you are training to be a spiritual teacher or a guide on the other side. Like, this is your training ground. Your guides. This is like me just talking out, like just channeling your guides with the Six of Cups. Your soul, your higher self. Yeah, and the Four of Cups, like coming out of nowhere. You might find, I think that you're aware of this already. I don't think that I'm talking to people who don't already get all of this. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this either isn't your pile or you're just beginning to awaken to this energy and this power within you. It could also be that a spiritual gift with this Four of Cups at the bottom of the deck is just you're getting messages out of nowhere, by surprise. Typically, I mean, not typically, but the Four of Cups can be, you know, feeling really unsatisfied. Maybe your spirit guides are asking you to focus on gratitude a little bit more this week, because we're talking about what's going on this week, or what do you need to know for the week ahead on this journey. But I feel like it can also be something coming out of nowhere, right? While you're focusing on something else, a gift comes out of nowhere. And we're talking about micromanaging the universe, right? Wishing for something and it popping into your existence. The more you elevate and decondition from your human experience and elevate and heal and integrate and all of these wonderful things, your manifestations start to come faster into your life, or things start to happen around you in a more significant and profound way. The natural world gets drawn into you. Kids start to be drawn into you too, which is kind of a bizarre thing. When you start to elevate and expand your energy, like even children respond better to you. Children, the natural world, lights, electricity, energy responds differently to you. And once you're tapped in, what is it Abraham Hicks says? Tapped in, tuned in, and turned on. Your body is buzzing. It feels a little bit different in the world. And you might even be kind of holding back with this card, saying like, I don't know if I like this feeling. That's a little too intense for me. You're like, ugh. When I did, I did the 10-day Vipassana meditation thing, course, I guess you'd call it. I wouldn't call it a retreat because it's not like restful, but that's how I felt. On the very last, I had such this profound awakening. My body was just like buzzing, and so much happened. I got so many downloads, transformation. Like it was overwhelming, and nobody could explain it to me what was happening to me. And that was maybe a little too soon on my spiritual journey. It just was like electricity hit me. And I had a spontaneous Kundalini rising moment without knowing what was going on. And I was like, holy cow, what do I even do with this energy? I was like, and what happened was the very last day, I couldn't be around other people because I could feel everything. It's like I could hear all of their thoughts. I was walking around, I could hear everybody's thoughts. I could perceive everything. I felt everything. I felt like I was being stabbed a million times, like by every single thing around me. And like all the wounds, like I was like this skinned, I felt like I had been skinned alive almost, like just open. And I didn't know that I needed to protect myself at that time. And there's something with that class, that it's there to help you heal, but they don't actually teach you about like shielding your energy as well once you become that open. And I wish they had, because I did go and sit down with the instructor and say to her, or one of the instructors, and I said, like, this is all happening to me in this course, like, what's going on? And then she was just like, try not to force, because force the energy out. But that's not what was happening. Like, I had all of this energy releasing out of my body, so much so that my foot felt like it had a big bruise. And my hand, it just wouldn't stop twitching, like the muscles, like my whole body was just twitching, sitting there. And it was insane. It was intense. And afterwards, I just felt like everything was an insult to my senses after. And that's what I'm sort of getting with this card right here. It's like your gifts, your spiritual gifts are like increasing exponentially. And you're feeling like really overwhelmed with it. But this is you, like you're rising. Your power is like your power to create with the Page of Wands here is insane. Insane. It feels very brand new, very like, ooh, what's this? And playful, Like, I feel like you're very excited about it, but at the same time, you're maybe having a hard time managing the senses, your sensory, it's like a sensory overload. Oh my God, the bottom of the deck. And 333 on the timer right now. 10 of Pentacles, like it's just, I want to, 10 of Pentacles. These are orbs. They're saying these are orbs here. This is the bottom of the deck energy. These are like light orbs around you. You might even be seeing light orbs more. 5:22 on the time, on the clock. So that's like big change, transformation, elevation, I already said transformation, expansion with the 333, and then the 5 is the change, but 222 is connection. And I think that 2 is like the 2 of Cups. Sometimes I see as the connection with the divine or alignment, connection with your higher self as well. So I feel like with the Page of Wands card here, also like your body is just alive. I mean, your body is alive, but like buzzing. It's like alive in a different way, like truly alive the way it's supposed to be alive. Connected to the divine, hearing things, channeling messages, seeing things, like even glitches in the matrix, like you're just like, what is this even? Oh my God. And then we have the High Priestess. Girl or man or whatever, they, you I can't even express it. There's no words, but you already know. I don't need to go off on it. Okay, so what can they do with all this? Whoa, okay, no, that's too many cards, Spirit. Okay, the deck split in half, so I'm not going to go through, let's see. No, there's too much there. I'm not going to go through all that, but sometimes the deck will split in half because they want me to put 2 cards together. So we have the Devil and Justice. And I know you know what that means. And this kind of, it's a continuation of pile number 3. So if you haven't watched pile number 3, watch it. It's a little bit different, but it is a bit of a continuation. You are a light worker, a light bringer. You are a spiritual with the High Priestess kind of in the middle here. And then we have the Justice and the Devil. You are a spiritual, oh God, I don't know why I say spiritual, but sometimes I really dislike the word because it doesn't encapsulate the immense importance of your mission here. It's like you are here, this light bringer, to literally lock horns with the devil energy. I mean, when we think about the devil is actually here to help release, you know. I'm going to go into that maybe in a different video. Release the wounds. The dark energies that are coming in here are not the devil, right? It's a different energy. So but the tarot only shows the devil. So this is like, you're here to battle the dark energies, to bring justice to the world, to persecute the dark energies. They're saying, Jesus, they're saying entrap them somehow. Oh gosh, I wasn't expecting to do these deep readings that I'm doing today. Like, I thought this was going to be a light and fun reading day. It's like a lot for a tarot reading, right? For just like an entertainment tarot reading. My will to thy will. Let's look at that. Micromanaging the universe. Breath of the cosmos. My will to thy will. God's saying, like, I have asked you to come here to do this. Remember. What's that movie where they have that echo? Remember, remember, remember. That's what's going in my head. Remember who you are. What is that from? Oh, The Lion King. Is that where that's from? That's why it's so like profound in my head, because it's from childhood. Like, and you're like, Simba, Simba, remember who you are, and you're here to battle Scar. No way. And take your rightful place among the spiritual elites, if you're not already doing it. Like, and you might not, you know, want to be like famous and all that, but like, you're still taking your place among the the light bringer elites, the elite, or even you could, even the ascended masters, I'm gonna say it, even possibly the ascended masters. Like, there's a big mission for you. And I think you already know that. I'm just confirming what you already know. What else should I ask for you? God, it's like watching a movie. I'm gonna put this deck over there. It's like watching a movie, and just it's to the human mind and body, it just feels like that doesn't make any sense. That's impossible. But I think the Spirit wants you to know, like, what you're seeing in your mind is true. Like, if I were to find a reading and see this reading and listen to it, I'd be like, yep, thank you, I needed that confirmation. So it's not crazy, right? There's not a whole bunch of us. Not as many. And there's a lot, but not as many as you might think. Jesus. Okay. Again, the devil comes out. Two of Swords. Oh my God. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what to do with this reading, you guys. Two of Swords. The devil. Okay, so wait. The devil popped out first. The rest of the cards flipped upside down, not in reverse, but they were hidden. So then we have the Two of Swords. So something hidden, or a little, they're saying like unbelievable. Like, I'm just confirming what I was just saying. Like, this is unbelievable. This is unreal. The Moon. So the darkness, the shadow, the unseen with the Two of Swords and the Moon. The Hierophant. So spiritual mastery, teacher, guide, right? Training to be a guide. training to be a warrior after leaving the physical plane, perhaps. Justice. Depends on how this whole thing is going to play out, and the timing of your life, and like being on the physical plane and where you're at, you know, in the multiverse. But what I'm seeing, and I don't know if you guys have seen it too, but the dark energies crossing, sorry, I gotta get crossing through, like it's transversing a word, like slipping in and out of the multiverse. I don't know if you guys have seen that too. It's like they're cross channeling, hitting everywhere. So it's like, even if you're making certain choices to split your universe and going into the next and all that, you have this dark energy that's like following you potentially. So yeah, and then see that I was just talking about that. This card had already come out, and it's the Six of Swords. So it's like they're moving around, the Justice. It is like the Matrix. So I guess it's not, hold on. I guess it's not totally crazy. You know, it's not like people haven't thought of this stuff before. They were just well ahead of their time. Or maybe the Matrix was meant, like the movies, were meant to be a warning. I have to look into that. I'm not a big, I don't like follow all the fan pages of all that stuff. Like I don't do that, but isn't it strange how things that happen in movies come out in real life? Not strange, not a coincidence. Synchronistic, I guess. Whew, okay, and these two cards fell on the floor. Star and the Page of Cups. Some of you might be meant to bring healing to the world. Healing and hope. You're like a messenger of healing, love, and hope. Okay, this isn't just like this is what to look for this week, but this is like I think this is a confirmation for you to what to pay attention to and what to like believe, like really believe in your senses, really believe in the downloads that you're receiving, believe in the information, and believe in your mission, that it is true, that the downloads, the information you're receiving of what you're supposed to be doing here is actually true. It's for a purpose. You were given these ideas, these thoughts for a reason. And they're saying to like take ownership of them and run with them now, because now is the time. You really do need to start doing the work. Because you've already done the elevate, you've already elevated. You've done so much deconditioning work. You've done so much healing work. You've done so much channeling work and, embracing and accepting and working with your spiritual gifts. But now is the time to bring the message to the world. Be the messenger of God. Be the messenger of light and hope and love. Because the world needs these messages more now than ever. It's like continuing Jesus's work, This is the point right now. You need to continue the work. The message is more important now than ever. This happened to me, and I'll tell you the story, and then I'll pull one more oracle card from the Sacred Travelers deck, and then I'll end the reading. A few weeks ago, I have been getting the kind of rumblings of like, you need to get back out there, start making videos, start from somewhere, anywhere, and then the messages will just flow, and you don't have to worry about controlling the messages. We're giving you the messages. Like, okay, whatever. So I was outside walking my dog, and this man came up to me randomly, really sweet guy, probably on the spectrum, I'm not sure what, like I've seen him around where I live, and he comes up to me, stops me, and he's like, I need to tell you a story. I'm like, okay, tell me a story. And then he told me about, and I'm getting these spirit tingles here, and they want me to tell you the story. So he tells me the story about how he was standing on this corner, on a street nearby, and how this older gentleman was having a heart attack in front of him. And he was like, oh my God, what do I do? And he called the police, or called an ambulance, and the ambulance came and actually saved his life. And And he was like, said to me, I was at the right place at the right time. Like God wanted me to be there. And then he told me, look at I'm getting like just tingles everywhere. And he told me to spread the message. And I haven't told many people about that story, but now I'm telling you. And I took it as like, okay, God is literally saying, spread the word of God. And if you know me, if you knew me years ago, I don't know if I was an atheist for a while or what, but I was like angry at God for a long time. And I, took a turn and didn't believe in God for a little while. And then it was like just the universe. And, and I do refer to God and the universe, spirit, source as, one and the same. But it's not necessarily the case. And I remember I went to this like wellness show, those like conventions, those trade shows and stuff. So I was talking to these spiritual people, or this group, and I can't remember the name of them, and they did these like, not mediumship, but like channeling messages for you. And I would talk about how I worked a lot with the angels at the time, because that's what I was doing a lot. I was working with Archangel Michael a lot. And then the guy said to me, why not God? Why not work with God directly in the throne room? Why not do that? And I was taken aback, and I was kind of thinking, but God is the universe. So I am sort of working with God by working with the angels. Aren't they one and the same? And it took me years even after that to realize that no, I'm wrong, and that God does exist. And I am surprised myself at wanting to talk about this, because for the longest time I didn't think that way. And now what I've seen in visions, in channeling messages, and deciphering the energies that are around us, that there is a big difference between even the entities that are around us. And you know that already, but what they're saying and what God is saying, it's time. It's time now. We have work to do. And there's no need to panic. Tap into your heart. The messages will come. It's not up to you to control the messages. They are coming. And you'll be, he's saying, like, you'll be at the right place at the right time. So don't worry about that. Because I sometimes was getting caught up in like, oh my God, the darkness is, this stuff is coming. Like, what are we going to do? We need a plan. I got to figure it out. But I think that if you let God take the wheel, it's so weird. It's such a cliche term, and I can't believe it's even coming out of my mouth. But if you let God take the wheel, like for me, if you know me at all, like if you're watching this and you know me, like you're gonna be like, oh my God, Carol, you're so different. But if you let God take the wheel and allow him to guide you, and let's not get into the debate about like the gender of God, because that's a discussion for another day. But if you let God take the wheel, you will find yourself in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing for the right people. And this is like that, the yogic, like the right thoughts, right actions that are divinely guided. You don't have to worry about it. And then you might think like, oh, are we just pawns in some strange game? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's not just that. You do have free will. Whoops. And you can potentially block the messages. You can block the instruction. Right? You can choose not to fulfill your mission here, and then somebody else will take the wheel. Right? He'll send somebody else. But because you came here to learn to be a guide, because, sorry, my daughter's calling me. Because you came here to learn to be a guide and to be a warrior on another plane, I would strongly suggest that you follow your intuition and your heart and spread the word and allow the energy to guide you where you're meant to go. I think that's a very powerful message that he wants to channel through to you guys. And with that, I will pull one card from the Sacred Traveler deck. Hold on, one second. My daughter's calling. Sorry. Okay. All right, you guys. One more message for my pile number 4s. I know this was just supposed to be about this week, but I think that you're really starting to get it. And trust. Oh my goodness, these cards are falling all over the floor. It just slid off the table. Like, okay. Hold on, let me get it. I'll be right back. Okay, there. Wow, reaching your destination. Your light is shining brightly. Like, and look at these bubbles. It's almost as if either, and then the journey, right? The bubbles make it seem so much closer. The destination. Like, you might see this road ahead of you and not really know how long it's going to take to get to where you want to go. And you might feel like the destination is really far away, but it's not. It's actually a lot closer than you think. This could be about maybe some specific manifestations or a miracle that's going to be happening in your life very soon, maybe even this week, because we're asking about this week, some sort of transformation. But it's definitely like your light is shining so bright that, one, they want you to harness this light, and two, also be careful with, like, because you're so powerful right now, be really careful about the thoughts that you're thinking, the way you're feeling, taking extra care of yourself when you need to. It's really extra important because your energy is impacting the world around you in ways that you can't even imagine. You know, God is working through you, even your energy. So if you're working through some other challenging things, it's okay to feel frustrated. It's okay to feel like a little bit lost. It's okay to not really understand what's going on. But, you know, have faith in yourself. Have faith that you're on the right track and that you're receiving the right information. And make sure to take extra care of yourself as much as you are able to, right? You know, I want to grab one more from the Sacred Travelers deck. You're the only pile that I grabbed an extra card for. Just one. Okay. No, they don't want me to take those ones. They want me to take this one. Wise leader. You are a beacon for others. How you treat yourself, the way you show up, really matters right now. It matters more than you know. People are starting to take notice of you. So be mindful of that as well. You know, a wise leader is not only intelligent, thoughtful, compassionate, a good problem solver, you know, all those things, but they inspire people. They inspire their hearts with their own actions. You inspire people with your own actions, with your own energy, with the way you show up in the world. And so you're moving into this phase of taking on that leadership role. It's happening now. It's starting now. It has maybe already started, but now you're becoming aware of you needing to step into that role. And so there's just, you know, a bit more thoughtfulness when it comes to how you're showing up for yourself and in your life. I think it's not a warning, but just like an extra message there. Okay. And with that, pile number 4, thank you so much for being here. You might want to watch pile 3 because there's a little bit of like, if you're struggling with a little bit of restlessness, like why aren't people listening to me? That message might resonate with you. Whereas this is like, okay, you kind of have already let go of that. All right. And with that, pile number 4, thank you so much for being here. And oh, my daughter's knocking at the door, so I'm just going to leave it. If you like this message, oh, one sec, honey. If you like this message, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to stay connected with me, subscribe to my channel. And yeah, I'm looking forward to reading for you again. Have a great day. Bye.